Welcome back to the Birdhouse Dynasty Show and our Thursday night heater. And we're talking Bills at Texans tonight. What a matchup. We also want to go over some of the hottest names in Dynasty, who's been getting traded in my leagues, who is not, who's cold. Yes, we're going over all of those names, or as many as we can hit up tonight. Wow, we're getting ready for the Bills Texans matchup tonight. Huge one here. We've got the Bills who were on a slide. They took down the Bucks this last weekend on Sunday. And then we've got the Texans who really need a win as well to stay in the playoff race in the AFC. So we've got Josh Allen, James Cook, Nico Collins all going tonight. Woody Marks if you really need him. It's not a bad matchup. I mean, the Bills cannot stop the run. Sean Tucker went all wild over their run defense on Sunday. So let's see. Fire Woody Marks up if you need to, for sure. But yeah, the big news of the day, of course, is Joey Burrow taking QB1 reps in practice today. Does that mean he's actually going to play? I mean, Joey B is an ultimate competitor. So, with Chase out due to suspension, I think he's even more motivated to play this week. But this guy just wants to play no matter what. I am excited to see if Burrow plays. I just did a trade for him on Monday in one of my bigger leagues, and now I was not expecting him to play this week. Like, I was hoping he was going to play on Thanksgiving night. Now, they're saying he's going to play this week. Let's check out Joe Burrow here. We've got some of his numbers to go over for you. Yeah, I could not be more happy to see Burrow getting first team reps, and the possibility of him actually playing is just insane. Like, I was not. How many of you out there think he is actually going to suit up this weekend? And then where would you rank him at quarterback if he actually does suit up for this weekend? Like, would you put him at QB 15? Would you put him in the top 5? I mean, no Chase, so that does mean he's just really got Higgins to throw to. Higgins, Yoshivas, Tinsley, Noah Fant. I mean, it's pretty gross. But he does have T. Higgins at least, and we know there's been weeks with Chase out where Higgins has just gone absolutely bonkers. So Higgins is a great start this week. You'd obviously be playing him anyway, but great start this week. Even if Flacco starts, I mean, you're starting T. Higgins with ultimate confidence this week against the Patriots. I know that Christian Gonzalez probably will be on Higgins now, but Drake London had no problem against Christian Gonzalez 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, was it? I don't know. Whatever London's 3 touchdown game was, that was on Christian Gonzalez. And so the Patriots have been up and down trying to defend the pass this year, so we'll see. But yeah, Joe Burrow, I mean, this is just nuts. Let's see what they've been saying on Twitter recently with Joe Burrow. That's what I've been trying to follow as much as possible, I guess, just to see the latest on Burrow. And it's been sort of mixed. You get the coach speak, and then you get other people talking. So this is what has been recently on Joe Burrow. Fully practices, Sparks Bengals return. For a second, okay, so this is from Schefter 5 hours ago. For a second straight day today, Bengals QB Joe Burrow has been taking snaps with their starting offense, preparing him for the possibility of him to play. He's practicing like he was week 1 from T. Higgins. thinking the Bengals can win 7 straight with Burrow is wild. Sign me up for the delusion. T. Higgins here saying Joe Burrow flashed him a look when he asked if he's playing this week. I don't know what that look meant, but I assume it's good. Yes. Joe Burrow looked great in practice this week and is very close to returning. Joe Burrow, his wrist would never be the same again, they thought, with that injury. He threw for 5,000 yards and 43 touchdowns last year with it. So, yes, here he is again, taking the first team reps with that left toe off the ground, of course. The picture had to be that, didn't it? Yeah. So there you have it. I mean, what a return this would be if Joe Burrow does come back this week. So other players, though, that we want to talk about heading into this weekend, who have you been trading or going after to trade for heading into week 12 of your fantasy season? We've got most leagues have 12, 13, and 14 those weeks as the final 3 weeks of their regular season fantasy-wise, and then we head into weeks 15, 16, 17 for the fantasy playoffs. So just 3 weeks to go, and then we've got the fantasy playoffs. So I've got some deals that have gone down in my leagues, and we'll share those with you right now. You can see here, there we go. Let's do it this way again. All right, so some of the deals in my leagues. One of the main ones here, Jared Goff for a first, 26 first. I think that's solid value. You know, if you're looking for a hold on. I'm trying to find, there we go. All right. Jared Goff for a 26 first, I think is solid. There it is. NLS 2K with S Frosties, Bengals super fan there, member of the Birdhouse, Colin, going out and acquiring Jared Goff. I love this deal. If you need a quarterback, Colin is right on the edge of the playoffs. He's like in 6th place. So he needed a QB. Jared Goff is nice. He's not overly expensive. You can generally get him for a first, or if you trade a different quarterback, maybe at a second. So there's different ways to attain him. But Jared Goff looks solid for the remainder of the 2025 season. I'd love to go and grab him if he's available. Again, so when you're looking to trade at this point in the year, ideally you're looking at teams that are in the bottom 3 or 4 of your league. Those are the ones that are going to be most readily willing to make deals to acquire. They really are just looking for value. So whether it's young players who aren't scoring points for you, but can score points in the future. Let me bring this up for you guys. Jeez, I don't know what happened. There we go. All right, here's one where guys getting a couple of win now pieces, and this is an ideal trade. So here we have Matt English, co-host with the Birdhouse Dynasty Show. He's acquiring Travis Hunter, Chimdike, and a 26 second, giving up Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, and Kenneth Walker. So dumping some points, acquiring Travis Hunter. This is a best ball format league with a little IDP mix, so Hunter has a little added value there. Getting DK and 26 second on the backside. Meanwhile, This is also a full point tight end premium, I believe. Um, Anybody in this league could tell me otherwise. This one was from our Taco Corp League. Yeah, that one's a full point tight end premium. So Mark Andrews gets a little boost there, probably a little more valuable than the 26 second. So Derrick Henry and Kenneth Walker for Travis Hunter and DK. I would say the value lies here. I mean, it all depends on what you're valuing going after Hunter. Sam was really difficult to get Hunter off of. So Matt getting Hunter, who was super valued in this league going into the season. Obviously, he's lost a little bit of flair with the injury, but most expect him to return fully, and so I do as well. But I think this is a great deal ultimately for both sides. Let's see what else you got here. Here's an interesting, what did we have here? Yeah. Diggs and Achane for QJ, Jalen Milroe, Krosky Merritt in a second, as well as a 27 first of the worst team in the league. So I was able to get Achane and Diggs for the a likely top 3 pick in 27. So if you want to throw the I think QJ and Diggs probably cancel each other out in this one value wise. If you're going after a win now wide receiver, I don't think there's a better one other than Devontae Adams. I would take Adams over Diggs slightly, but they're both pretty damn good 30-plus-year-old wide receivers that you can go out and go after for on the cheaper side, right? And I gave up everything else basically for Achane, who is one of the ultimate buys right now. If you're going win now, he's a little cheaper than Bijan and Gibbs because he doesn't have quite the cachet of being on quote unquote as good of an offense. But really, when you look at it, Miami's offense, I mean, are they any worse than Atlanta's offense right now? And now with Kirk Cousins coming into the mix, maybe a week or two without London, I think Miami's offense is actually looking okay right now, and they've got some good matchups coming up here. They could rattle off a few victories, actually. So we'll see how that goes for Miami going forward, but that's where I'm at on Achane, trying to go out and acquire him on some of my contenders for sure. All right, let's see what else we got here. Here's Jacoby Brissett, a real nice buy. I got off of him because I wanted to get rid of the points that I know he's going to score. This is our Turtle League, and I am outside of the playoffs here. This was a rebuild that I started last season, and now going into this season, I knew I was going to be not a playoff team, but I was going to have a little better season. So I wasn't going to outwardly try and tank to get all the way to the bottom because I didn't expect. Now, this is key to know when you're rebuilding, like your second season, sort of a house money type year, and that's what I was looking at it as. But I had a lot of injuries. Travis Hunter got hurt. Trying to remember who else. Marv was banged up. It just wasn't. I wasn't going to win, and this wasn't a squad where I was looking to just go all in for. And so getting Brissett off my roster was nice, I thought. Now, if you can acquire Brissett I would give up a third for Brissett if I'm going after him on a win now team. That would be something I'd be looking to do. Christian Watson here for a third. That one was Matt English and Hergot. So I like Christian Watson a lot going forward. I don't want to give up too much for him just because because of the injury history. But if you're looking for a real high upside type gamble for, the last spot in your roster or in a best ball type format, Christian Watson going for a third right now. I mean, that's phenomenal. I would jump on that. Hergot was just trying to get rid of the points because Watson's been looking so good, especially this last week. But I like that one really for Matt English. Let's see here. Here we've got Matt English and NLS 2K. Kyron Williams going for a 27 first and J.K. Dobbins. Solid deal for both sides there. George Kittle for Sam Laporta. This one, solid deal. I like it. I'm not as high on Laporta as most are ranking him dynasty-wise. I mean, literally look at the points that Laporta's scored versus the average that Kittle's been scoring over on a weekly basis, right? So Kittle's hot. That's one guy that you really want to go out and get with Purdy coming back, that Niners offense looking good. Juwan Jennings you can go out and acquire for maybe 2/3, probably a second you got to pay, but somewhere in that ballpark, maybe a second and a third. Actually, no, I wouldn't do a second and a third. Yeah, you might have to. I don't know. It all depends on the owner, again, in the league and what they're looking for. So he's definitely, Juwan Jennings, somebody to kick the tires on, because I don't think that we're going to see anything from Brandon Ayuk at all this year. Here was an interesting one. So we got Justin here, JV Uncut, and Kyle, re-educated. Kyle's not going to be in the playoffs, so he got Laporta and a second. JV Uncut, Justin went for Kelsey, Algier, and a third. I like Tyler Algier, especially this is a best ball format, so Algier is somebody that you're not necessarily going to be throwing into your lineup, but if you're in best ball, Algier steals a lot of Bijan's goal line touches, as we all know. And so when he gets the touches, and then if Atlanta actually is finishing off a game in the fourth quarter, Algier gets a lot of those touches as well. So you can see a lot of games here where Algier's getting 40 to 50 yards, add a touchdown into the mix, and boom, he's in your lineup all of a sudden. Travis Kelce, I don't mind going out and getting if you need the points here. Value-wise, I'm sure that Kyle probably won this one. But again, Algier is somebody who's a free agent at the end of this season. So Tyler Algier, he has that hidden value in him, plus the hidden value in that he's Bijan's handcuff, because if Bijan were to go down, knock on wood, Algier all of a sudden becomes a top 15 running back. So auto start, basically. So, yeah, there's that hidden value in Tyler Algier that I really like right now. Oh, what else do we have here? Here's Havdi. We got Havdi getting rid of Scattaboo in a win-now situation. Love this deal for him. Getting Chase Brown. Probably slightly valued over Scattaboo right now, who was going for a first, at least, right when he got hurt. Chase Brown, though, now that he's scoring points and Scattaboo isn't, I like Chase Brown because, going into the offseason, they're probably going to have equal value at least, right? And then you've got Alec Pierce, who I love. He's been scoring great, become almost the de facto one in Indianapolis over Michael Pittman, but both of them could have the most targets in any given week. But yeah, win now wise, I love this deal for Havdi, and then definitely don't hate it for Charlie Parrish as James Cook just takes it to the house on 3rd and inches here with 9 minutes to go in the first, and the Bills are on the board. All right. let's see here. I didn't see the beginning of the play. It was about a 44 yarder for James Cook right now. James Cook cooking for sure. I don't know where you put James Cook. Like, he's dynasty wise, like, he's probably ranked just ahead of Christian McCaffrey, but then McCaffrey has that receiving upside that Cook doesn't. So, like, and they shanked the extra point. 6-0 Bills. All right. Man, what is it with it this year? People cannot make extra points. All right, here we got one with Kyron. Matt English going out and acquiring Kyron Williams for Dobbins and Kenneth Walker. Walker, of course, now this trade was made before last week when Walker had a real solid day. So I like the Foss Boss angle on this one if he had to play him last week. I'm betting that Foss Boss is out of the playoffs and that's why he did this deal, but maybe not. This is in the, what league was this? Crash and Smash, yeah. Yeah, best ball format. This one is 12-teamer. I understand both angles on this. Now, Foss Boss has to cut somebody in order to take on Dobbins, so I would hope that he's not trying to compete in this one if he did a deal like this. All right, here's another Jared Goff deal, basically for a first. This one in Crash and Smash. Love this side of it. Hergot, again, getting points off his roster and getting a 26 first. Ty Johnson in the 5th, you can kind of, yeah. Another Crash and Smash deal here. This one, Matt English acquiring the stack of all stacks, value-wise. The stack of all stacks is Burrow, Chase. But the next best you can do, if you can't afford that stack, is definitely Dak and CeeDee. So Matt English goes out and gets Dak, CeeDee Lamb, and Omarion Hampton. And in return, gives up Jefferson and Jaden Daniels. This was a smoking hot deal. I love this kind of trade. These are the trades that you love seeing. Like, high-end players, both guys taking risks, right? I mean, you got Crackhor getting Jaden Daniels. We don't know what he's going to look like next year or at the end of this season if he ends up playing this year. Justin Jefferson buying the dip here on Jefferson. I mean, Jefferson, Lamb, do whatever you want. They're both top 5 wide receivers in the NFL. So then you've got Dak and Hampton for Daniels. I mean, I love it for both sides of this deal. This is a completely fair, perfect win type deal for both guys in this one. All right. Next up, what else do we have here? Yeah, Devontae Adams for Trey Harris in a second. We got another Achane deal here. Mariota for a 4th. Shook for a 2nd and 5th. Blake Corum for a 2nd. I like that. Both sides. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say both sides, it's not that I'm copping out on picking a winner here. You know, sometimes the value just becomes so close that you're just splitting hairs. And my point that I'm getting at is, you know, Cortland Sutton for a 2nd, Quentin Johnson for a 2nd, Kendre Miller for a 4th. Like, there's no reason to overthink it sometimes and get too petty about the deals you're in. Here's Trey Benson for a 1st, so that's a gamble for sure. You're gambling Trey Benson's going to come back and be strong. Here we go. Nico for this is a 12x9 league. So the key here, this is because it's 12x9. All right. Marvin Harrison has not been a regular starter, right? So that elevates Nico's value, deflates Marvin Harrison's value. All right. And then you've got Bashul Tutin, who's kind of just a throw in this format, and a 26 first, which Ramzak is playing as a late first. So you understand here the format matters. 12 by 9, there's just not as many starters, okay? We only have 2 running backs, 2 wideouts, and just 2 flexes. Nico is an auto start, but Harrison, week to week, is a very tough call. And then you're getting a late 26 first, which is a player that who knows what the hell that'll be. So I love this deal for both sides. It really, Ramzak did need a top flight wide receiver here, so I completely understand giving up the value. Love it for Havdi. Havdi, you're getting Marvin Harrison, who could become Nico Collins. And then you're getting the gamble on Tutin becoming the number 1 back in Jacksonville next year. Plus, you get a good dart throw for a late 26 first. Plenty of options to play with in the off season coming up for that. All right. So that's where people are at on Marv, though. You know, in a different league, like say a start 11 and start 12, then I would not like this deal for Ramzak, because then you're having Harrison as a definite starter. Tutin even would be a borderline starter on a weekly basis. So then it would favor Havdi for sure. All right. But yeah, Havdi definitely got his money's worth there. All right. We got here. This one here, Tyler Warren. That's in that Dynasty Land League as well. So Tyler Warren here, it's only a half-point tight end premium, so I'm not really raising the tight end value too much there. So you're really looking at a first and second for Warren, and then a second for Myers, which I love getting a second for Myers. So you're a plus there. So a first and second plus a little half, I guess, half, third for Warren. So I think it's fair value for both sides here. For the brand, just trying to make sure he doesn't score too many point series in a battle with someone for the 101 in that league. So that's where you're at with Tyler Warren. Yeah, let's scroll back down. Get some of the newer deals here before we... Okay. Most recent one in that same Dynasty Land League. This was a huge one that just went down today. And so we've got Garrett Wilson, Jaden Daniels, first and second. So you can see Jaden Daniels here in a couple deals readily available. Regardless, whoever owns him is not counting on him to score them points this year. So whether or not he comes back this year, they're avoiding that. And is this DFS going after Lamar Jackson here? Then you've got T. Higgins. So Higgins and Garrett Wilson pretty even. Lamar and Jaden Daniels, that's where the first comes into play, so I like that. I like the gamble on Ramzak's side here. I don't hate the value here, but you're really gambling on Jaden Daniels here to step it up to that elite level next season. So we'll see if that 27 first is worthwhile for Ramzak or not. He's got an elite squad in our Dynasty Land League ready to win it this year, and so he's making moves to do the best he can. I mean, he is giving everything he's got for sure to try and pull it off this year. All right. This one was this was buying Trey Benson low. I love this. I mean, we saw Trey Benson go for a 27 first. Now here we're seeing Trey Benson go for Malik Willis in 2/3. Like, that's just giving that's just giving up on Trey Benson. In my opinion, like Benson's coming back, Omarion Hampton's coming back, so you got a couple of guys. So at running back, if you're looking for some firepower, this is the time to still go and get Benson before he actually comes back. With Brissett, who's definitely made this Cardinals offense like somewhat relevant again, really. So I think that if we get Marv back from this appendix issue that he had, where he had to have it removed, I would think he's back next week. I'm really excited to see what happens there with Brissett at the helm. So this might be the time to really kick the wheels on Marvin Harrison. I would not be selling Marvin Harrison right now because I don't think he could be any worse with Brissett. And who knows next season what we have. Kyler's, I'm 95% sure that Kyler's not going to be taking snaps with Arizona next year. So you've got either Brissett or some rookie taking snaps week 1. Depends how high Arizona wants to pick a quarterback. Do they want to go after one of the high-end guys? Do they wait to the second to grab somebody, I don't know, like Nussmeier? More of a project. Then you could see Brissett get like 5 weeks, 8 weeks worth of action, and it just depends on how good he plays. Brissett has looked good for us fantasy-wise so far, but you know, they beat Dallas on Monday night, and then now since then they lost to Seattle, got smoked. Then they got smoked again last week by the Niners. So it's not like he's winning ball games and they're going to make the playoffs all of a sudden with Brissett at the helm. So, you know, but he is signed with Arizona for next season. So that's key. That's why I'm saying watch it, what you trade him away for, because if you're the key is if you actually do you actually think you can move up a spot in the draft by getting rid of those points, then I'd say do it and get rid of them. But if you're locked kind of into your spot, like pick 4 or 5, I don't know if I'd give up Brissett for that, because he actually can get some starts for you next year. So just something to consider if you're a Brissett owner that is not in the playoffs. All right. Well, we've got some football to watch tonight. That's all I wanted to get through. Please smash the like, subscribe, leave a comment, give me a question, tell me how stupid I was with some of my comments. I don't care. Just have fun with it. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the Bills and Texans tonight. I'm out of here. Just remember to never stop working.